Hi there guys, this is Jacqueline with Nickel and Dime Decor, and thank you for joining me. I'm way back here. I broke my tripod that I put my camera on, and well anyway, it's a long story, so it has to work. A new quilt, a new technique I've never done. Maybe you have, maybe you've used it for a long time. It's called the New Flying Geese, and I got this from this book. Missouri Star Quilt Company, and the name of it is just Block, and it dates back to 17 or 18. I think you can still get it if you would like to have it. I got it at an estate sale, and I haven't until now even looked at it. So I found this new Flying Geese quilt, and I was so curious. Looking at the pictures, I thought, that just doesn't make any sense. I don't know how you're going to do that. And it's the simplest thing in the world. You could, the pattern is, the quilt will be 54 by 63. And let me give you your measurements if you've got a pen and pencil. One package of 10-inch squares, or just cut you out some 10-inch squares. You need 42 of them, of various colors, whatever color theme you want. And you'll need a half a yard for your binding, and you'll need 4 packages of 5-inch squares, white, and there's 42 count to each package, so you're going to need 168 5-inch white squares. Cut them out of whatever you've got, or by 5-inch charm pack. Okay, now to show you what we're talking about. This is the quilt, and they've got just every color in the world. It's very pretty, isn't it? Well, you know me, my color variations are always different. But I want to show you some different ways that you could do it. Say you like this, but maybe you want to do all blues. Okay, look at this picture of how they did just all blues. See, you go from dark and radiate up to light. And there's 14 rows down and 6 across to get your 53 by, what did I say, 62? 54 by 63. All right, here's another idea. In this blue, then reds, and go down dark to light. Do it in pinks and go from dark to light. Now also, it's so easy to change your colors and do whatever you want with this quilt. How about size? Well, look, I'm going to take 2 rows off of the top, maybe 3, and 1 row off of the sides, and have a baby quilt. And a baby quilt, to me, a good size is about 42, 44 by, you know, square, or maybe 42, 48, 46, whatever. So I was figuring that just 1 row off of the sides and maybe 2 or 3 off of the top would give me a real nice size baby quilt. And now I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to show you what my color scheme is. Now, this is all of the colors. I mean, I've got other colors, but not of these prints, but I want to keep them in the same tones. So Okay, I've kind of got it crowded on my little table here, but here's my color scheme. Isn't that pretty? And of course you can arrange it in any arrangement you want to, but I liked these 3 fabrics. I'm going to add maybe 2 more. Well, I'm going to add different rows, but this is my first row. And I really don't know what the rest of it's going to be, but it's going to be in this kind of soft blues and I don't know but to me that's kind of a mint color, wouldn't you agree? And that is what a new flying geese block looks like. Now, you are going to be so shocked if you haven't seen this, how this comes about. So that's our next segment, is how to make the block. I've never, like I said, I've never seen it done before, so stay tuned. Okay, I'm going to go through this real slow. I have 2 pieces of white, two squares. I have a 10-inch strip by 5 folded in half. I'm putting this 5-inch square right sides up, and I'm putting it on my 10-inch line just for a good gauge. Then I'm taking with the fold at the top and putting it on the 9.5-inch line. 1/2 inch from the white. See that? Line it up over here as good as possible. Then I'm taking this 5-inch piece with the right side down, matching my 2 white edges. See that? Matching my 2 white edges. Even over here, and pin it before it shuffles. Okay, you with me? Now this is sticking out down here, 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to pin over here on this side that I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew a very scant 1/4 inch right here. Right there. I'm going to take it into my sewing room to do that because I have a machine sitting right there, but I cannot yet get my accurate 1/4 inch. But on my old Bernina, the trusty old soul that it is, it's exact. So I'm going to go sew this and we'll be back and see the magic. Okay, there's our scant 1/4 inch. Take our pin out and I'm just going to finger press. You're supposed to press this, but I don't want to set up my iron and everything right now. So what I'm going to do is finger press and finger press over here. And what I've done on the others is open the seam. I don't know if that's what you should do, but that's what I'm doing. And you will see that up here at the top, you've got a little see how that meets? It's a little, I don't know, but that's how it's supposed to look right there. All right, so far nothing. Can't get a flying geese out of that, can you? Okay, look here what we do. Set it down. Make sure it's pressed good. You really should press it on with the iron. All right, take this middle piece, open it up, and you have an ever so slight little crease right here. Don't know that you can tell that, but that is your guide. And you pull this down. Pull it down pretty snug. And match this crease with your seam. And it matches perfectly. And we press with our hands. We press with our hands. And what do you think we have? We have a flying geese that isn't trimmed yet. Is that not neat? All right. Now, you notice that you want about the same length on each side. You want a good 1/4 inch. See that? 1/4 inch from there to there. 1/4 inch from there to there. Okay. Well, first we'll trim it and then we'll talk about what else we should do. Now make sure that it's even on each side. Then you know that it's in the middle properly. Before you trim, make sure you got a 1/4 inch over here, a good 1/4 inch, and a good 1/4 inch over here. Then take your ruler and put it, let's go 20 right here. Can you see? Yeah, 20 to my 5 inch right there. Don't look at this. Look at your white piece. Put it on the 25, which is 5 inches, or use this ruler, whichever you prefer. 5 inches. And trim. Trim all that excess off. There, my friends, is your new flying geese block. Now, if you're like me, this kind of bothers you. I don't like that. I know what they did was they sewed all of their strips together, and then they, what they did was pinned it, pieced it together all down the row, pieced the whole quilt, and then they did their quilting to hold this down. I don't know that I'm going to do it, but I think I am. I'm going to do a serpentine stitch on each and every block before I even sew them together, because this just doesn't, it just bothers me. You could use fabric glue, but you want it to be, you could pin it. You want it to be stationary so that your seam allowances over here are correct. And the only way that I know how to do that is to secure it. So that's what I will do. But is that not the simplest thing you've ever seen in your life? You could put this quilt together you know, you hear of them say, I made it over the weekend. Well, that's just far-fetched for me. I wonder if those people are really telling the truth. But I honestly think that if you sat down and didn't have anything else to do for 3 days, you could put this together. I think you might could. That is the new Flying Geese block and Flying Geese quilt. If you have any questions, just go back to the beginning to get the measurements and cut out. Now, I didn't tell you how to cut out your 10-inch squares, but all you do on it is to just half it, and you've got a 10 by 5. So for each of your 10-inch squares, you'll have 2. And then your 5-inch squares, you just cut out 5-inch squares. So I didn't tell you that part. But how simple. 2 cuts, 2 pieces. Adjust it to whatever size you'd like to have. If it's 53 by 64 or 54 by 63, if you want a bigger quilt, just start adding rows until you decide it's big enough. No sashing. So your rows will determine how big you make it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Mine, a baby quilt, I'm going to have about 10 rows, I think, or 11. I think 11 rows. And instead of 6 across, I'm going to have 5. Is that not fun? So simple and so easy for beginners. I tell you, the joy of quilting. It amazes me how people come up with these ideas. I mean, when I saw that picture of putting those pieces together, I thought, do what? But it works. It works just wonderfully. There's our blog. I love to do this, and I love to share with you ideas. And even though this quilt is from Jenny Doan, and what would we do without Missouri Star Quilt Company? It's a wonderful, wonderful outfit, and she created this, and I'll be glad to copy it. I'll be glad to make it, and just put my own little touch to it. Okay, guys, here is my first row. I have 9 blocks, and that's all I'm going. It measures 40 inches, and remember, I'm making this for a baby quilt. This is all of the I have enough of the blue and the other 2 colors to make 1 or 2 or 3, and that's it. So I've got to come up with a lot more colors. Don't you think that dark right there is too dark to put in a row? I don't know. We'll discuss that later. But I want you to see, and I apologize for my pressing. I just could not get there's a lot of bulk up there in those seams. And I couldn't seem to press it any better than that. So I apologize for that. I will have to put my spray starch on it and really use some elbow grease. And it looks whoppy jawed on here the way I've got it laying, but my points worked out pretty good. They're all evenly spaced, about the same. That works out real good. Now, look at the serpentine stitch. See the stitch? I stitched it down. I like that really, really well. It made it so much easier to sew the pieces together. That serpentine stitch is just a beautiful stitch. And you can see the fabric, can't you? I love that fabric, that white. It's just gorgeous. And you know, when this child grows up, this little lap quilt will still mean something, hopefully. Okay, let's go this way and get a view of it. So that's my first row. I just wanted you to see how it turned out, except for the pressing on it. It's not very good. I think my iron is fixing to go out because it just wasn't hot enough. Irons don't last me very long. Okay, that's the sum of it. I sure hope you guys will try this. My goodness, it's fun, and it's going to make a beauty, just a beauty, if I can come up with enough fabrics. And I've got the 9 blocks, and I'm going to do 5 across. And that will give me a 40 by 45. And I think that's perfect. Okie dokie. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.